top of the morning to you.
Wow, we have an Irish brogue going on.
Irish bro. Hello, mate. Is that Irish? Hello, mate.
Top of the morning was Irish. Oh, we're just confusing our listeners now.
Because we have an international audience.
Yeah, we gotta be careful.
They might not be coming back.
Yeah, no. They're like, you don't know what's what. Sorry.
Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Talkmen Tuesday. Sorizo, Angel Corrado, back at it again. And guess what? Sora is struggling with sleep.
I am struggling hardcore. I woke up at 3 a.m. last night. Couldn't go back to sleep. Rolled around for an hour and a half and was like, well, I guess I'm up now. I am. So I went to like 9:30 or 10. Like I went to bed pretty early. But my body was just like, nope, you've had enough sleep now. So it was one of those things where sometimes that happens, and like I can like force myself to go back. Like I'll just close my eyes and I do the count back from 100 trick if I'm like really, really struggling with going back to sleep. And I did that, and that didn't work. Like I made it all the way back down to like from 100 to 1, and I'm like, well, so I did it again, and then I was like, I looked at the clock and I'm like, well, it's been an hour and a half. Like, it was bad. And I knew, it was one of those things too, I knew that as soon as I made the decision that I was going to get up for the day, I was going to regret it at like 2 p.m. And like, I knew what was happening, but like I couldn't just go back to sleep. And so, sure enough, 1:32 hit, and I went to Candace and I'm like, so I am going to sleep well tonight.
Going straight to bed after this podcast.
Oh, the NBA Finals Game 6 is on after this. Or I think it's on during this, but it'll probably be like halftime or something when this is over. So I'll have to struggle to stay up to watch that just in case it's the last game.
Oh, those games are good.
Mm-hmm. They've been really
that
good
being
games.
said,
the Suns were up 2-0, and now the... And so it's in Milwaukee, and so yeah, it's they've been good games too. So I think there's only been one like major blowout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For the first game, maybe, and out of nowhere, Bucks come in, and this might be the last game.
It will be the first time. Oh, I'll go into it after the intro.
All right.
Roll it.
Everybody's looking forward to the podcast, yeah. Tuesday, Talkmen Tuesday. Everybody's looking forward to the podcast, yeah.
But if the Bucks win, it will be the first time in
50 years.
What's the beverage of choice
exciting.
over there for you today? Oh, the mango. I love the mango one. It is my favorite. I am drinking a Canada Dry 0 sugar.
Oh, Canada Dry.
They're good. So I for a while, like I still try my best to, but I've tried to avoid soda, and so ginger ale doesn't really fall in the soda category. And so I've been doing that, and they've been really good.
Next page on Instagram recently.
Bad happened? Are we
no,
kicked off?
No, it's something.
You can never know.
You checked the Instagram. Did they get kicked off?
Would you hold it against them? I mean,
yeah, they published their Rush video. For the fall. Everybody's wearing, most people were in masks, and then it just like also nostalgic. It just brought back so many memories of the house.
brotherhood.
They're like slag. And then, yeah, they renovated everything, so it's basically like how we left it. So
Basically.
they're like, we do athletics, we have a lot of hardware, a senior talk. I'm like, yeah, at this point, it looks good.
It's so strange because it's like the outside hasn't changed whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
But it's like the party rooms are still the party rooms and everything, and it's just cool to see how other people decorate. Oh my gosh, I'm watching it right now, and it's just bringing back memories of studying in all these different rooms. Like, I pulled an all-nighter in the I don't even know, the corner study room next to the pool table.
Uh-huh.
Me and Chad would do our music appreciation all-nighters in that.
Music appreciation.
It was a really hard class, actually. Like, it made me hate music. Like, they would, you had to, like, know all about these different, kind of, like, compositions, I guess, technically, but, like, piano songs. And, like, you had to be able to tell which song was which after she played, like, 15 seconds of it. So, and then you had to know all about the artist, like, where they were from. You know,
what level was this? Like, what number class?
Class. It was an elective. Like, I would no, thank you. Like,
did you think it was gonna be easy, and then all of a sudden you're
it's
like,
called music appreciation. I can appreciate a lot of things. I did not appreciate that class.
For a 100 level class, which was an elective.
It was wild, but like that was the only studying we did was the night before the exams, all nighters. Like we ended up with A's, so it wasn't like it was the most difficult thing in the world, but it just sucked doing it.
Did you ask appreciation classes beforehand?
No,
or you just think it was gonna be easy because 100 level class elective music appreciation?
I did like the basic when you look online to get other people's reviews. And like, because it was either that one or it was dance appreciation. Like because it was like the arts and theater section or whatever for the electives. And so I was told don't do dance whatsoever because that's like the hardest one. And so yeah, I mean, it could have been worse apparently, but.
I don't remember what I.
Well, obviously not music appreciation because you'd probably be crying with me over here right now.
Theater. I took acting classes.
You did? So you did the other one then, yeah. So how did you like that? Because a little on the harder side because like you had to like really give it your all. Really? So I mean,
yeah,
something like that too with it.
It's like a hit or miss with some teachers. Some people will really take it really, like professional level stuff. But mine was cool. Funny thing, the only thing you had to worry about was getting on time to class.
That's
that was the hardest part, honestly. That was the hardest part. They had like this rule that
you had to be on time to class. No, duh, Angel. That's how all classes. That's the hardest part.
Wait.
I'm done. This is it.
Because like if you were late so many times, you had to like do basically you're counted as missing a class or something, and you can only miss like 2 or 3 classes the whole semester because it's acting. You have to be there to get points and extra.
Yeah, usually with any class, you have to be there, Angel. Gosh.
In college, most classes you don't have to be.
Do you remember? Was this like a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday? And like, was it?
I think Tuesday, Thursday.
Was it later in the day, or? Oh, why would you be late to an 11:30 class?
I think I'm the Flash, and like I think it'd go really fast walking. I don't.
That was always the worst when you overestimate this walking speed that you can do, and like you are just booking it from class to class. Or at least I was, because I'm one of those people that I get nervous if I feel like I'm late. This goes to the whole would you rather be 20 minutes early or 20 minutes late conversation that we had. Like in high school, I was like the nerd who would just like put their head down and like go to their next class. Like, because I was like, if the bell rings and I'm in the hall, like I'm gonna get in trouble, and I just hate.
I was a kid who was in the.
We would not get along in high school. I would be like, I can't do. And you'd be like, "Hey Sawyer, come and talk," and I'd be like, "No."
I do remember calling the assistant principal, not the VP. I was running late, but sadly, this time, so, like I called during the time, and actually was late to that one, and I was more late than usual. So I actually told the teacher, "Hey, somebody was having a seizure." So like, I just wanted to make sure the girl was okay, and like called like the assistant principal, because everybody was just like looking at each other. I'm like, "Get the freaking adult over here who can do something."
I was not expecting that. Like, of all the ways that story could have gone, I was not expecting for another student to have a seizure. Like,
so that was one good thing that I was like, yeah, because everybody just looked at each other. I'm like, get an adult over here. So I just like looked at him directly in the eyes and like waved over here, and then he came, and then he was like, "I got this." I'm like, "Okay, that works," because he's probably had experience of like just make sure everything's out of the way, let her go through it, and like the head's not bouncing or anything.
Yeah, they don't swallow their tongue.
So that happened, and then most of my teachers were really cool with me. I got good grades. Like, I feel like the only C I got was like in calculus or something, which I was like, darn it, it's finally getting hard math. Because there were always like teachers would always be like, "This is the year you can't just like wing it with math," and I'm like,
Bet.
yeah. And then calculus was the one. Calculus was the one where, you know how they usually have like at our school there was like an honors lunch or like celebration or some sort, right? One semester. So everybody who's like in who makes the dean's list, I think, goes to this celebration. It was second period. It was my calculus class. Guess how many students went to that celebration of being in the honors?
Everybody
class?
but you.
I think there was like out of probably 25 kids, I want to say 4 of them didn't go there, and 2 of the other people were the ones I hung out with. We were all.
I think that should tell you something about the group that you hung out with during that.
Sadly, the other girl I was with, we were both just struggling. We were just like, but the other kid, he was so smart. Like I don't get. It was definitely not that class he was failing or like having a C in.
Yeah,
it was another one because he's the one we always ask for like help.
Well, maybe that was why you got the C. Maybe he was struggling too, and he's just giving you all the wrong answers.
No, he had a good grade in that class. He always had good grades, but yeah, I think. But yeah, that's another story. He was also, but it was good.
I kind of did the same thing when the math got hard, and they're like, "You can't just go through this like you normally would." I kind of did the same thing where I was like, "No, I can," and then I couldn't. And then by the time I realized I couldn't, I was too far behind, and then I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm kind of screwed." Right? And high school math compared to Purdue math is so different. Like Purdue math is ridiculous. That's what you get for an.
Yeah. I took calculus in high school, and then took it again in college, because they're like, you probably want to do that because they basically Purdue math. And once I went there, I'm like, I don't remember any of this in high school. Like, this feels so weird. But then I was kind of sad, honestly, thinking about it, because like a friend recommended like go watch this YouTube guy that teaches math. He's way better at explaining it than our professor who just says everything that we don't understand and we're just writing down notes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm paying this guy thousands of dollars for this class I don't understand, but I'm just going for this YouTube guy who's for free. And
yeah. Isn't that wild? And like the fact that there are all those resources out there, like I would be surprised like that more people don't use them, because I didn't use it for the first couple of math classes that I was at Purdue, and then I was like, you know what, I need to start doing this, because I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm in the long run, I'm like, they don't know what I'm using to learn this, and it's not like there's one way to do it. Like I can't just do it the teacher's way. Like if you get the right answer, you get the right answer. Like.
Our professor, he would speak, he would, explain problems so much that people were, they wouldn't understand the problem, but they would, have to write everything down and then be like, look it over after class or something. And that was me. I'm like, I do not count.
But something is getting written.
How do we get to high school math class? Me being late. Yeah, that was the hardest part. So, because we were late, so I was late so often, she had, this extra credit, extra opportunity that, if you helped out for, 2 hours, on dead week or something, your finals week, your, tardies, 3 of them would be, cleared away. So I did that.
How many tardies did you have?
I think for every 3 tardies, you missed 1 class. So I probably had 3 tardies. Yeah. I think, or 3 days, and then you lower it down a grade or something. Whole letter grade. They were serious.
Yeah. Other than the whole tardiness thing, it was good.
You gotta memorize lines, but just go through the freaking lines, practice and practice and practice until
Yeah.
Because, there were some people who, I don't know if they just had bad memory, or you could tell they just didn't practice the lines.
Yeah.
And that's why I just...
Yeah, neither would I, because then it's when everybody else is doing it, you're the one that's there I don't know this, and then...
And you're in front of the whole class. You're acting that
on the stage.
Scene. Yeah. And everybody's looking at you, and then when you keep looking at the script, you're like... She understood 1 or 2 words you messed up here and there, but if you don't know the whole sentence and then you keep, clearly didn't study this, sir, and it's just the awkward moment.
Do we need to talk about this? No, we don't need to talk about this. Why?
I can't even calculate how good you are because you can't do the scene.
Yeah. Did that ever happen to you?
So, no.
Good.
Luckily, I don't think I missed any. I didn't ask for help with the words. My partner did once, but that was it. Yeah, we had this one kid who he was obviously asked 3 or 4 times, and I think after that, we'll go on to the next one because.
It was just bad at that point.
You practice.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know why this brought me back to on a mission trip that I was going to. We had these pre-mission trip meetings, and was looking after this mission trip. He would get really pissed that people would be tardy, and I was always tardy to those meetings.
Great. I'm seeing a trend here about your tardy.
No, he had this talk, because it wasn't just me at that point. It was 3 or 4 of us out of, I want to say 15. So he had, this talk of, being on time is very respectful. If you're not on time, you're wasting everybody else's time, because they have other things to do, and you're basically stating that their time is not as valuable as yours.
True.
Dude, I just suck with time. My time isn't even that valuable.
No, you should have been wait, so you think your time's more important than my time then? I'm sorry. Whatever happened to equality? And then that's how.
He was like the passive aggressiveness of like, you can tell he was pissed. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I think I'm the Flash, but like clearly
I am not.
I don't go that fast. I'm like, I could make it in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I got this. No, I don't got this. I don't. You don't. I had to go to the bathroom, so that took me another 5 minutes. I'm already 5 minutes late, and I constantly use the bathroom. I'm like, I should. On my way to this, I should calculate bathroom breaks in case, because that's basically consistent right there.
Yeah.
I usually have to go to the bathroom. But those 5 minutes I thought I would be there, and so include your bathroom breaks. Don't make priests mad. Because that's always awkward.
These are all great tips and tricks for our listeners. Don't make priests mad.
Practice your skits if you're in a theater class, especially if the exam is a skit.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. So, oh my goodness, like your final exam, was it like going through an entire play type of thing? Or not an entire play, but like a whole scene?
Yeah.
I would get so nervous for that. I'd be like,
yeah, it was.
Romeo. Line.
I was nervous. It was basically a love scene. It was definitely Romeo. It wasn't Romeo, but it was a love scene. I remember that much. But I wasn't even nervous about my partner and I. I was just worried about if I got the line.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you're like, whatever happens, happens. Like, if they forget their lines, they forget their lines. I don't care what I have to say. I just hope I say the right things. Like,
Mm-hmm. And she was pretty. I think she was graduating, and then she was more worried about her job search than the class.
yeah, understandable.
Might be really intense.
I always thought that was hilarious when you got classes with like second semester seniors and you weren't a senior or anything yet. And so it's like if it was a group project class, like you knew that they were just all checked out because they lined up or something and like they didn't really care anymore. Like you just, it was just like the mentality of those classes just completely switched. And the professors knew all about it. Like they knew what was happening. It was like, there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's just the way that it is. They're like, remember to finish strong. It's like, no. When they're done, they're...
And like, yeah. It's like, is an employer really going to check?
Yeah. They do, actually.
Yeah, I check. I call them up. Did they graduate or not?
Well, that usually comes back in background checks if you do an education verification. Like, sometimes they pull, like, did you actually get this degree? And like, it can even get down to, like, if you said you were, like, so I was a bachelor's in human relations, but if I would have put, like, human resources, it would flag it and be like, no, it was not human resources, it was a different name. And some people will be like, well, what did you get kind of thing? So, yeah, they can get pretty specific on it. But I remember do you remember what your last final was?
No.
Mine was, it was diversity in the workplace was the class, and the final was we had to just make a lemonade stand and sell lemonade outside for students. But the teacher didn't show up. It was a very cold day, so there was a sub, and the sub was like, do you guys want to be doing this? And we were like, no. And she's like, okay, I'll just tell the teacher that everybody was here, and everybody did it. And so my last final was that. That was my Purdue experience, kind of all bowed up. It was wild. It was nice, though, because everybody was freaking out about finals, studying, and everything. And when that was my last one, I'm like, well, I don't have anything else to do, so, like, kind of chilling.
I don't think this was our professor. He was very, very elderly, very mature, very
mature. I would say for his age, but it was his age that made him mature.
He printed out the exams, and guess.
Oh, the key.
Yeah, Yeah, he figured out the answers, and they didn't realize it until he handed all of them out. Somebody like raised their hands, like, the answers are right here. Oh.
Yeah, everybody got 100. I missed one or two just to make it realistic.
I was like,
who would raise their hand and be like, Professor, stop.
he would have realized it once he got him back. He's like, wait, how does...
But then at that point, it's just too late. Like, what's he going to do? Everybody come back? You can't make me.
Yeah, so that was the best experience I had with an exam. Because I was like, somebody raised their hand, and I'm like, guess everybody's getting a good grade. Have a good day, guys. Sorry.
My top exam moment was human resources law class, and it was a tough course. Like, it was going all over legal things within just businesses, and so like you had to know a bunch of different laws, and like the tests were all about like, if this happens, what are you able to do, type of thing. It was a very tough class, and I had a C going into the final, and the final was worth like 30% of your grade, and I got, what did I get? 70 out of 100 or 75 out of 100, but for some reason they marked my grade as a 175 out of 100, and so I ended up getting an A on the class just because they added 100 points, so I got like an A+++ on the final, and I'm like, I am not telling anybody about this. Like, if this is like a test about like whether like they're out of line for this situation. And so I remember getting it back, and I'm like, wait a second, how did I got an A? Like, okay. Hello, business minor, check.
And that's what it stayed like that?
Yeah.
They never corrected it?
Nope, they never corrected it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Because I remember looking back after the grade got posted, and it said the 175 out of 100, and I'm like, okay.
I'm not touching that.
Yep.
Not from emailing the professor.
Like, that's exactly what I was hoping I was going to get. Planned that perfectly.
There was another class that had a tardy.
Again, I am feeling a very, very strong trend here. It wasn't just...
I was always tardy in class. College, high school. College didn't change me.
Goodness.
High school. Yeah, high school. You know which ones were the strict teachers, which ones weren't. So the strict teachers, you get on time. The non-strict ones, like, hey. But in college, there was this one class where there was an attendance policy, so you had to be there.
Yeah.
Like most classes. Some classes don't do that. So they're like, if you're more than 15 minutes late, it's called like you're an absent. So might as well not even show up or something like that. So
okay, well, not showing up today.
You can only miss like 2 or 3 classes though. But like one time I got there like 12 minutes late, right? And so like at the end of class, you sign in during class. But since I got there like 12 minutes late, I missed that sign-in sheet. So I went to the TA. It's like, hey, I arrived like around like 11, 12 minutes late. Can I sign in? And the TA goes, the tardy policy is only 10 minutes late. And I just go, the syllabus says 15. And I just like smirking like, the TA didn't read the syllabus.
Boom. Did you get to sign it? Did you get to sign it? Oh my gosh. That's that's not a good thing. They didn't even need your name.
Yeah, she's like, your age, right? Like, yeah. Oh, awesome. Since, even though I was always late, she might have caught that. But in that class, I would always raise my hand. It's a funny thing. It was like a race class. So, I spoke a lot in that class.
Yeah.
As like the few like the minorities in the class usually spoke in that class.
Yeah.
It was like the minorities speaking about the subject, and then like everyone else was just like too afraid to like state whatever they wanted to state. And then the professor was African American. So that was another thing where just like we were like, we don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So it was mostly me and this other African American who would mostly just speak. Us two.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think it's so funny how that works. And like a minorities class, like you guys spoke the most. I was in a women's studies class. Again, don't recommend it if you're looking for an easy class. And like it was me and there were like two other guys in it, and we never said a word just because the very first class, the teacher stands up and she goes, "Menstruation, periods." She's like, "Does anybody feel uncomfortable?" And I'm like, well, if we're being honest, like I'm getting to it, I'm like, I don't feel uncomfortable right now. She's like, "Does anybody feel uncomfortable?" Because you shouldn't. We're talking about women's studies. Like, I'm like, oh god, no! Like, what did I get into?
Who'd you have for that class?
Oh, I don't remember her name. She was a women's studies or maybe gender studies, like doctor, basically. She had a PhD in it. And so, I mean, again, like, it affects her, so, like, she's very passionate about it, but I was just like, I'm just taking this because I needed I think it counted as a diversity course, too, like, an elective.
I think I took one of those courses, too. I don't know if it was, like, women's studies or, like, gender studies, one of those two, but my professor was, like, a very, very elderly lady who she just, like, literally read her notes, the whole class, the entire class, and it was fairly easy.
Yeah.
She was just, like, so chill.
I would have rather had that for this specific course just because this lady made everything into a discussion, which I like it when classes do that, but again, not with this specific topic. No offense to the females that are listening to us. I do enjoy learning and studying. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. It was just a very course.
Yeah, women's studies, like, just, like, yeah, race.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with, like, race 1, I think at the beginning, I was, like, somewhat very liberal, and then, like, towards the end, I'm like, okay, that's enough being liberal, like, I gotta be conservative a little bit, too. So, like, I was, like, more conservative towards the end, and just, like, going to hit it, like, right in the middle. With certain things, so, like, it's, like, yes, there's, like, some hardships for, like, minorities, but, like, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
yeah,
you gotta, like, go through it, like, yeah. So it was always interesting to have like a little bit of like liberal and like, and yeah, but
yeah, tardiness is bad unless you plan on really participating in the class. Then you might get some brownie points that way. But for most of us, I feel like if we're late, we're not doing that. So, but again, I would never know because I'm early for everything, I should say. Class-wise. Personal life-wise.
yeah, that just gave me like a big smirk. It was just like when the TA was like, the time cap's 10 minutes. I'm like, this is why I read the syllabus, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, syllabus says 15, and she was like all like stirred, like, your name's Angel, right? Like, yeah. Like, thank you.
So from that point on, you showed up 14 minutes late every single day. Sometimes you got there early and you just waited outside until 14 minutes and then you walked in.
She was a TA, so I'm like, this is why I read the syllabus.
Yep.
I'm like,
you were ready for it.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. I'm like, oh, it says 15 minutes. Thank you. That's very generous.
That's very generous. I might not need it because I'm the Flash, but in case I do.
Yeah. I got 5 minutes. I can do this. No, it's going to take you 10 minutes. Bathroom break, 15. Go. Make it 12. Did we? Okay. Did we? I'm wondering if we did this. Alright, so would you rather be in jail for a year
We did not do that.
Okay. So the line after that sentence says, "Is a bad year worth living?" Or is
I'd rather lose a little.
why?
Because if you go to jail, you had to do something to cause yourself to... And then that's going to be on your criminal record. And so... maybe. Maybe if there's like you're charged for murder and so you go to jail for a year. Like, one of those situations. But no, I'd rather just...
Thinking about that subject, and you know what I came up with? The Flash. Do you remember the origin, like the first episode?
The Flash.
Ah!
And it's
You haven't watched The Flash?
No, and it's my favorite superhero.
There's Barry Allen, The Flash, is a young...
Oh, hey, Secret Identity. Come on, spoiler.
Spoiler. But basically, his mom dies by light beams, which later on you'll know is basically are there people who run really fast. But the only people in the house at the time, Barry's dad and the two other speedsters are gone at that point. So when the police come, it's just dad and mom. Mom's dead, so police automatically assume dad did it. So he goes to jail.
Dad didn't.
Correct. But they find that years later. Well, Barry always knows there was more people in the room.
Barry
but nobody
knew.
believes him because he was just a little kid. But yeah, I was like, oh, that happened to him. Maybe that's why he was in jail for so long, and he didn't see his little kid grow up. So I want to have that get out of jail free card. He could have used it. He would have been with his kid.
Yeah, he probably would have taken the year off his life just so he could be with his son even longer.
I don't know why, but I want to. I want to be in jail for a year. Have you seen those TikToks of like people in jail? They have cell phones.
Okay, what type of jail are we talking about? Are we talking about just a... Are we talking about, like, high max?
Is this... Fine. Like,
Oh, okay.
jail.
Yeah, I'm still dying a year earlier. Because I wouldn't know when my normal death was supposed to be. Like, it's just, hey, Sora, instead of dying at 102, you're dying at 101. Like, oh no. Oh no. But no, that is a good point. Jail versus prison. Prison is definitely a more of a no-go.
Yeah. I'm always like shocked to see. Wow. They literally went all out.
Where are you watching it? These prison gang fights at?
YouTube!
We know Angel's YouTube search history. It's TikTok dances and prison gang fights.
They're fascinating. People are in close quarters and they decide to fight. Like, you know somebody's gonna get hurt.
I think that's kind of the goal.
Somebody might die, and then two, if you piss people off in jail, they're not going anywhere.
No.
Probably for a very long time.
Hopefully.
So the chances of them getting... It's very high up there.
Bring it on.
And I'm like, I just want to be...
Yeah, that you would go in there and like you'd start trying to make friends, and then people would take it the wrong way, and like that's how you would get beat up. You get beat up by being too nice to people.
I would want to be like the plug. What you need? I got it. I'm trying to get...
Angel is the plug.
I can't do that, sir. That's what out of my like limit. Nope, sir. This is what I saw on
that's easy.
documentaries.
Hey, who's that new guy? I don't know, but he seems friendly.
How's the family? How's life? You doing good? So, what made you want to be a correctional officer?
It's like I'm getting like a sneak peek into the future. It's weird. But not actually anytime soon.
Officer, watch out. Those is it jailmates? Prison mates? Jailmates?
Those prisoners.
Those prisoners. There you go. Those prisoners at 7 p.m. Watch out.
You're a rat. Boys.
Or I'm helping the officers out.
So yeah, you're a snitch. I think now you're taking the wrong approach. You have not only befriended them, you've joined. Oh man! Now all the prisoners
But
and just shank you.
you they won't because I'm the plug. They need my services.
They need the plug. They can't attack me because they need me.
And I need the guards, so it's like they know I gotta be good and good at juju's. So not like go one way or the other, but like have that nice balance.
What a conversation. We're just going through what your time in prison is going to look like. The different roles, how you get to these roles, the respect that you...
Another thing. You gotta get the muscles, because clearly... You see that?
Oh!
No, not
shirt
there. You see those prison mates? They're a lot tougher than that. So get a really strong male, and then have him be like the muscle. Yeah.
That would do.
I remember in the elementary school, I always had like these big dudes. Like my friends were like really big, and this other kid was like trying to make fun of me in like basketball court, and I'm like, I don't know why it never got to me. I'm like, I don't know why I just thought that like their mom didn't probably love him as much.
Oh
That's why I was
my
like,
god! You can make fun of me all you want. At least my mom loves me.
I just felt bad for them. I really felt bad. I'm like, damn, like their mom probably didn't love me. It's like my mom loved me. I got probably some more love to give. So like I can love you too. It's like it's okay.
I can love you too.
I thought my mom loved me a lot.
Help me help you. Let me love you.
That was like that process, and then I realized a lot more people had moms. So like that, I was just so like confused. But
I would dare to say everybody has a mom.
oh yeah, but still alive. Cause like
Okay, true.
My grandma from mom's side passed away when she was very young, when she was like trying to have her second kid, complications or whatnot. So I thought a lot of people did not have their moms alive. So I'm like, that must be really tough. Like I don't know who doesn't have their moms alive or not. So like, I'll give them some of my excess love that my mom gave me
To help them.
But anyways, this kid was making fun of me in the basketball court, and I just like brushed it off. Like I don't talk back or anything. I'm just like, whatever. But my friends are getting pissed for me.
Hey, you don't talk to Angel that way.
He's not doing anything to you. Like, why are you making fun of him? I'm like, dude, it's okay. It's like whatever. It's like, but basically, yeah, my big like friends basically kicked the guy's butt. Like literally kicked his butt to tell him to stop, and he stopped.
Good.
I was just like, whatever. Like, sorry, dude. Like, that's kind of like karma kind of thing. Like, I didn't tell him to kick you, but like, you kind of deserve that.
And I didn't tell him to stop at the same time. Like, you catch my drift. If it happens, it happens.
He only kicked him like once or two times. It was like overused. I might have stopped it, but it was just like it's kind of like karma. I'm like letting that play out. Like,
This sounds like you're the godfather for like the elementary school. No, I'd love to help, but you disrespected me and my name.
it was also happened too, like, really fast, like 1 or 2 or 3 kicks, and I was like, yeah. And then he stopped talking, like.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything to you,
What?
sir. It wasn't even that. Like, I was like, you good? And he was like, yeah. I probably didn't say that, but.
And then we watched the replay of this, and Angel standing over this child on the ground bleeding, just like, come on! Say my name! And that's when he knew.
I don't know why I had this. Do you remember handball?
Yeah.
Like, a stick with, like, a hit on it to make it. I remember there was, like, these substitution. I basically was, like, sub because I wanted to get a drink of water. And so, like, everybody would raise their hand out to pick a person to, like, sub in for me until I'd come back with from the drink of water. Because there was, like, a line waiting and I was winning. So, I let him. This teacher comes up to me and was like, I saw what you did there. Like, she went out to say, like, you lost, and then everybody raised their hand. I think she thought everybody that raised their hand was, like, voting me out. And so I just let, like, the first person there, like, I picked them. So I went to get a drink of water, and she gave me, like, this note that said, like, good job or something. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like,
Thanks, but no, I'm just getting water. I'm going back and playing. You've read this situation completely wrong, ma'am. I won that court.
I'm like, why did she think, like, I did a good job? Like, I'm like, oh, everybody raised your hand. She probably thinks everybody kicked me out. And so I got that paper, like.
And she's like, wait a second. I've been bamboozled.
I was so confused. I'm like, why do you think I did a good job? But yeah, I'm guessing it was a hands raised. She thought people voted me out or something. And I just picked the person next in line to sub in for me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too.
What was, like, I guess,
soccer, but when the bell rang, it turned into football. Last score wins. So they picked up the ball and they went into the goalkeeper, and you got to tackle him there.
Jeez. So I got aggressive at the end. Okay.
Yeah, it was very aggressive. You were running. Yeah, it was soccer, and then after the bell rang, you basically had those 5 minutes to see who scored last. And
so our recess was in a parking lot, and the only thing, they had basketball hoops and stuff at the edges of the parking lot, but there was a kickball field painted on one of the corners, and so it was kickball was the big thing. But if anybody ever, like, because it was in the parking lot of the church, and so sometimes people parked in, like, the recess area, and so if anybody ever parked there, then it turned into, like, basketball, or we had frisbees that we would just throw.
Yeah, we had a whole soccer field, walls for handball. No.
Volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then, what did I just call that game with? Like,
you called it handball. It's
tetherball.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
I remembered the name of it, like, halfway through your story, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop you and be like, yeah, it's actually tetherball. Like, I'm
Yeah, tetherball. I think we used another. Ooh, Foursquare. We also played Foursquare.
We had Foursquare too. Yeah.
Did you have the? Did you play, like, the original Foursquare? Magic items or things like that, or did you guys have?
We did, like, cherry bomb and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You have
like,
friendships?
I'm not gonna get you if you don't get me. No friendships.
Yeah.
It's like, This was always king and queen, king and queen. And it's just like, you guys suck. Stop.
And then I realized somebody explained to me like how like the original Force Spirit was like no. I'm like,
yeah.
just like stick to
Why
that.
did we change it? Because somebody was losing and they wanted to do something fun to make it so they could possibly have a chance. Cherry Bomb was the worst because you would just grab it with two hands and you would just pound it. And it's like, how are you supposed to stop that? Like, you're not. You just basically.
Yeah. And then like you grab it, so that means like you stop. It's like
to keep it going.
Make it go consistently.
Yeah. And it's like, so I could just randomly yell Cherry Bomb whenever I wanted, like, Cherry Bomb, Cherry Bomb, Cherry Bomb, Cherry Bomb. Like,
that's why you had a friend go behind.
Oh, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have whatever
like
that
cherry
was.
bombs. That's how they would get you. And then, but if you had a friend, then they could help you out with it. But yeah, I don't remember though.
There was
I
one that
remember
was
the
like
friendships.
it could like roll or something. It was like roly. I don't know what it was called. I was gonna say roly poly, but that's wrong. But it's basically like they would just roll it in your square, and then it counted as like a double hit. So then you were out. Hey, here's some cheap ways just to get people.
But I'm guessing it's probably like the older, like the 4th or 5th graders making up these rules for like the 3rd graders.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like the funnest part was like when the bell rang, and there was like a tied thing, or it probably wasn't even like a tied score.
You just still went for it.
People were like, last score wins, and so you saw that first person pick up the ball and they just went after it.
But it's 7-0.
Last score. It was like life or death when we were little kids. Oh wait, let's do one last. Would you rather be able to see 10 minutes into the future of anyone? Both would be pretty cool.
So you only get one 10-minute interval for either of these? Like, it doesn't, like... I can't use, like, one 10-minute now and then, like, tomorrow do another 10-minute. Like, it's just a one and done.
I think it's, like, consistent because they're, like, it would make a great superpower.
Okay. I feel like I'd want to do it for somebody else. Like, see somebody else's 10.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I feel like if I'm doing it myself, like, I feel like there could be a ton of benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I control that anyways. Like, it could be like, if I'm happy about a bet that I made in 10 minutes. And, like, if I'm mad, like, I don't know. But I would go for somebody else. I would want to see, like, somebody else's 10 minutes.
My thought process was, like, I try to buy a lottery ticket and take 10 minutes into it, see whether I can get it or not. But then I'm like, that would suck that like know the number and that like, the possibilities that would be endless. Mm-hmm. So the next thought was like seeing 10 minutes to somebody else's future. You could really get people and be like, in 10 minutes, be careful with X, Y, and Z. And if it's like something really dangerous or like something really like crazy or something, be like your best friend later on.
Yeah. You could save the future. You can be like, hey, in 10 minutes, like you said, like, this is going to happen. Be careful. And then, I owe you. Yeah. For the podcast listeners, Angel just did the That's So Raven, like, stare. But we want to make that
That's
the question of the day then. So let us
do
know,
that.
would you rather see 10 minutes in the future of yourself or 10 minutes into somebody else's future? And so you can let us know your answers to that in the comment section if you are listening to us on YouTube, or if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, you can let us know in the email, which is talkmentuesday@gmail.com, and give your explanation, and we can cover whatever creative or funny answers we get in there. And as always, we appreciate you guys for taking some time out of your weeks to listen to us talk about. We talked about a lot. We talked about going to jail. We talked about playground time. And so I'm being tardy. So we appreciate you
Sorry.
for
Sorry, priest.
your ears off for an hour.
Anything
here.
personal?
Talk about, let us know again either in the comment section or through email, and we can cover those. Or if you have any pieces of advice or tips or tricks for us, we will definitely take those into consideration as well. But as always, we appreciate you guys for taking some time listening to us. We hope you all have a safe rest of your week. Stay safe, social distance unless you are vaccinated, and go give somebody a big hug who is also vaccinated, and tell somebody you love them. But we will talk with you guys.
Thank you, guys.